Hey, this is Eric over at Techno RV, and in this video I want to talk to you about the Southwire portable power stations. There are 4 different models, and we have made a series of videos to where we're going to talk about each specific model like we will do in this video. But as an overview, there is a 200 watt hour model, a 300, a 500, and an 1100 watt hour model. These are all lithium-ion batteries. They all have built-in inverters, so you're going to be able to get that AC and DC power. And this is pure sine wave technology, so you're going to have clean power for all of your delicate electronics. In addition, each one of these units can be charged in 6 different ways, and one of those is with an optional solar panel that you can get from Techno RV as well. So in this video, I want to tell you everything that you need to know about the 200 series model. So let's go ahead and get started with that. So this is the Southwire Portable Power 200 model. Again, this is a UL certified lithium-ion battery, pure sine wave, which is what you want, and it does have that built-in inverter into it, which is going to allow you to get AC power in addition to DC power. Now, this is actually a 222 watt hour unit, and I want to kind of explain what that means. All of your devices are going to have a wattage requirement, and whatever that wattage requirement is, you can basically divide into that 222 watt hours. So for example, to make the math easy, if this was just a straight 200 watt hour and I had a device that required 50 watts, then I would be able to run that on this for 4 hours. So that's kind of how you need to look at that whenever you start deciding, is the 200 right for you, or the other models, the 300, the 500, or even the 1100. So that's how you determine basically the watt hours as it relates to this. And again, it's 222 watt hours. When you get this unit and unbox it, what you're going to get with it is, of course, your battery pack with the built-in inverter. You're going to get an AC power plug with it. You're going to get a DC power plug with it. And you're going to get this 8-tip barrel connector adapter kit in case there's something that you have that doesn't quite fit with this. This will help you with that. In addition, you're going to get a operating manual. When you get this from technorv.com, you will get our Techno RV Learning Series, and we're going to make sure you're successful with this. It's very easy to use. There's not a whole lot to it, but we always want to make sure you're taken care of. As an option, there is a solar panel that you can get. It doesn't come with the 200, but you can buy this as an option, and we'll talk a little bit more about that here in a bit. So let's talk about all the outlets that you get on the front of this, and a little bit about the display as well. As it relates to the outlets that you get, you do have your input DC here for your charging. The 200 comes with 2 AC outlets, so this is going to be just like a standard wall plug right here. You're going to get 2 standard USB ports here, the 2.4 amp, which is your standard USB, and then you're also going to get the quick charge USB as well, the 3.0, and then you're going to get your Type C connection as well, which is what I actually use to charge my iPhone 12 with. And over here, you're going to have the standard cigarette lighter style plug. And then you're also going to have a built-in LED light here, which is nice. And that comes with different dimming options, and one that also flashes for emergencies. And then on your display here, this is a nice color display. It's going to give you your watts that you're pulling. It's also going to tell you how many more hours of battery life you have left based on how much you have plugged in here, because technically you could have as many devices plugged into this at one time as you have connection points here, and each time you plug an additional device in, the display recalculates how much longer the battery is going to last based on that particular load. So that's extremely nice to know there. In addition, you have two 5-amp barrel style DC connectors here as well, and then you have your buttons for each one of these different forms of power. You have your DC button, your USB button, and your AC button to actually activate that part of the panel. Now let's talk about all the different ways that you can charge this unit, and this is one of those industry-leading type things. There's 6 different ways that you can charge this. First, you can charge it with your cigarette lighter from your car. You can also charge it with the optional Southwire solar panel. You can charge it with the AC plug that comes with this unit as well. You can also charge it via the Type-C PD USB, and then you can also charge it with a generator. So 6 different ways that you can apply power to this unit, and so you'll never be without as far as that's concerned. Now let's talk about the time it takes to charge this with each one of these different charging methods. When you're charging with the DC cigarette lighter style plug, it'll charge in 5.3 hours, and this is from 0 to 100%. If you're charging with the AC plug, it's 4.3 hours. The USB-C is 8.6 hours. If you're charging with the solar panel, the 100-watt solar panel, that's 7 hours. A generator is 4.3 hours. And then you can also charge it with AC and the USB-C PD. And if you use both of those at the same time, it'll charge in 2.9 hours. All right, now let's talk about the measurements and the weight of this unit. This unit is 8.46 inches in length, 6.3 inches wide, and 7.56 inches high, and it weighs in at 6.6 pounds. The Southwire 200 is good for 1,000 charges, and that's from 100% down to 0 and all the way back up. And I will just caution you about that some people play with those numbers to where it might be like at 80% to 0 or something. Southwire does all their measurements on all the way to 100% down to 0 and back up, and that's 1,000 charges, and that is industry leading. It also comes with a 2-year warranty, and so you'll definitely be covered with that. And whenever you purchase this from Techno RV, you will have an option to extend that warranty up to 3 additional years if you'd like. So while the Southwire 200 is the lower power option in the lineup, it still has a lot of power to do a lot of what you may need to do, and this may be the right unit for you. So how do you determine that? Well, you need to try and figure out what are the things that you're going to want to run off of this. And one thing you always want to make sure is you're going to need to know, like, I mean, if you're doing things like cell phones and charging cameras and things like that, of course you're going to be covered. But if you start getting into things that are like high heat producing things, let's say you wanted an electric griddle, like for example, can be like 800 watts. Well, you don't want to run anything on a 200 watt hour unit that is more than that 200 watt hours. In this case, it's 222 watt hours. So if you were like, well, I've got this particular device that's say 250 watts, well, then you would want to move up to the 300 model. But with that said, I did want to just kind of review in general what some items might draw so that you kind of have an idea, but these are not exact. And if you know there's specific things like maybe a CPAP machine that you want to run, you really need to go and look at what that watt rating is. In general terms, here's an example of some wattage of some devices and how long they would run on this device here. You could charge a typical phone or camera for about 22 charges because they are about 10 watts. A laptop could be maybe 50 watts, so you could charge that for 4 hours. A slow cooker that was say at 108 watts, you could actually run that for a couple of hours. If your CPAP machine was 40 watts, you could actually run that for 5.5 hours. Now, if you need to run that for if you need to run your CPAP for longer than that, then you know, maybe you get the 500 series, and it'll of course run it longer then to get you through a whole night. So those are just some examples, and again, those are not exact wattages for every device that you might have, but you could look at that for yourself to make that determination, and if this unit's right for you, or if you need to get a higher watt hour unit from Southwire. So this is the Southwire solar panel. This is a 100 watt 18 volt DC output unit. It is monocrystalline, and that just simply means that you're going to get more energy per square foot. This comes in a nice tough Oxford cloth case. It comes with a carrying handle, and it's quite small because this is a quad fold. But while it is not open, this unit is 13.79 inches by 17.72 by 1.18 inches. Now, when I open this unit up, it'll be 55.51 inches by 17.71 inches by 0.2 of an inch. So whenever you open this unit up, well, before I get into that, it does have this nice zippered pocket on the front of it, and this is where you're going to find your cable to plug this into your Southwire portable power. It is all just connected right to it. So you would take this and plug it into your Southwire device. In addition, it's going to come with an RV ready adapter, so that for those of you that have RVs that are wired for this, that you could plug this directly into that using this adapter here. So that folds up nicely there. And so let's go ahead and open this up. You just squeeze the sides of the clamp here, and it releases it. And these are elastic here, so when you put them back in, you can just draw them tight. So release that side, and again, this is a quad fold unit, and you'll notice when you open it up right here, it's got legs on the back so that you can stand it up and face it towards where the sun is. So if I open the unit up like this, then I can take the legs out on the back like this, and then your unit will, and you just face that wherever the sun is at. So that's it. And then you would basically have the power cable going to your battery. And a lot of times what I'll do is I'll set this up with the sun coming in from this side, and then I'll just set my battery just like right behind this, and then it'll get a nice charge on that. And then putting it up is quite simple. Whenever I stand it up, the legs just automatically go in, and then again, the quad fold, I just fold it back up, take my elastic band, pull it through, and it's about the most compact unit that I've seen on the market. And again, these are great for your Southwire portable power units, and then also the adapter for RVs that might be ready for a solar panel. So that's it. That's the solar panel from Southwire. So that's everything you need to know about the 200 model. If you have questions, you can always email, chat, or call us over at technorv.com. And of course, when you go to buy your Southwire unit, go to technorv.com. We've got them over there. We've got plenty of them in stock, and we would be glad to send you one out. So until next time, safe travels.